says it was the mocktail, but I saw them loading up vodka in it. That's not a mocktail, Candace. That's just pure booze. All right, taking a look at the tropics, nothing threatening us, and we have seen a few changes in the forecast with Henri, which we'll get to in a moment. Grace became a hurricane this morning, so now that is the second named hurricane of the season, with winds of 80 miles an hour, but gusts up to 100, and the sights are set on the Yucatan. Now, we are expecting to see some weakening of the storm once on land, but maybe not much as it continues on through into Mexico from the Bay of Campeche. Right now you see that more healthy outflow, so this is a strong storm and likely to see a little bit of additional strengthening up to landfall, and then again that weakening is expected. Now, Hurricane Center is kind of indicating maybe a little bit more of a dramatic weakening as it pushes across fairly flat land in the Yucatan, but the land interaction nonetheless will usually help to weaken it. But then notice it will start to re-strengthen again, possibly becoming a hurricane before a second landfall in Mexico along the west coast of the Bay of Campeche. As far as anything impacting us is concerned, it's not going to. As we had mentioned yesterday, it is moving over very warm, deep water. We call this the oceanic heat content. You need the warm water to give it that energy. And this is very deep warm water, not just at the surface. Now notice it's not quite as abundant once in the southern Gulf of Bay of Campeche, which is why we're not expecting the storm to just explode in strength once in that area. The guiding pattern for all of this is that ridge of high pressure that is going to keep sending the storm to the west, but that high ridge is going to start to bake us as we get toward the weekend and next week. But you know what? I'll deal with the heat if this keeps anything in the tropics away from us. And a dominant ridge of high pressure would indeed keep anything in the tropics away. However, it's going to start to send our temperatures into the upper 90s and rain chances to almost nil, especially for the weekend. So we are not going to see many cooling showers at all. Tropical storm Henri is nearing hurricane strength, likely to become a hurricane. Thankfully, it has stayed to the south of Bermuda. However, it may now impact the New England states, as the models have been a little more consistently bringing it closer to anywhere from New Jersey up to Maine and the Canadian Maritimes. So now, folks, kind of especially along the Cape in Massachusetts, may have to watch us a little bit closer as we get toward the end of the weekend. Then the forecast has been more consistent. This is just the GFS. And what you're seeing is the forecast from the GFS as well as kind of that center point of the storm based on the National Hurricane Center's forecast. And notice we're starting to see a little bit more proximity in where it could make landfall, although the GFS would have this more inland around Long Island and New York than the Hurricane Center's forecast has a little bit more to the east, but certainly even Long Island does fall within that margin of error. One other thing to note out in the tropics, we are getting this plume of deep Saharan dust to come off of Africa and really sit across the main development region of the Atlantic through next week. Should really put a cap on any further development once we are done with Grace and Henri. Nothing threatening us in the near future. A lot of sunshine outside at the moment. Temperature 93. Feels though like 105. Today's high got up to 95, only a couple of degrees away from the record, and no measurable rainfall at Kenner, but we did have some scattered showers around the area. 80s on the North Shore. We did have some late afternoon showers, and dew points very high in the 70s and low 80s, but a lot more sunshine and really fewer showers during the day today. We'll have one more day of our more normal August pattern with the scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon hours around 95. Then the heat builds in and rain chances drop to nearly zero through the weekend, and will stay relatively dry even going into next week.